Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host, Scotty McCoy, and boy, do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me right now Nancy Ann Ritter, and she played the girl in the bathroom of Scream. And this is an exciting interview because this year marks the 25th anniversary of the movie Scream, which released in 1996. Hey Nancy, how are you doing?
I'm so good, Scotty. I'm so honored to be here and to be what you have already interviewed an illustrious list of guests. So I'm glad my little small part of Girl in Bathroom
Absolutely.
warranted getting to be with you.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I mean, your scene, although small, is very memorable because it leads to, Sydney overhearing this stuff that's being talked about her and her mom, supposedly behind her back when she's really there. And it also leads into the whole Henry Winkler, because he gets, the kids that are in the mask because the person is dressed as Ghostface in the other stall. So your scene leads to quite a bit of introductions.
Yeah, a ton. And my little booking agent, Billy Stamper, he's not little, but he's normal size. Oh no, I shouldn't say normal because then he's a size. But he said he was bullied in high school, and so because I never thought about it from this angle, but with the two pranksters with the ghost face that Henry Winkler dresses down, them making it harder for Nev, and Billy said it really kind of hit him because he was bullied in high school, and so I didn't think of it from that perspective that he could really relate to Nev Campbell, and then especially the awful things that the cheerleader is saying, and then me trying to at least be a little like pragmatic and rational, like as to what in response to the cheerleader.
Right.
One of my favorite little lines. I mean, the cheerleader has the best lines, but my favorite little one that Wes wanted really, really quiet. The line where I say, cut some slack. She watched her mom get butchered. For some reason, I just think that line, like just talking about something so heinous, just in regular girl talk. And he just kept wanting me to make it quieter and quieter. So yeah, it was super fun. And as really showing Sydney's journey, I think is why that scene's important. Yeah,
absolutely. So to start things off, really, how did you get your start into acting?
Well, I grew up in Alexandria, Virginia, just outside of DC, and I was 9 years old when I started, and my parents were really great. They would take my sisters and me to the Kennedy Center. There's an amazing professional theater scene here in DC, and finally, after we went to the King and I with Yul Brynner, who originated the role. And I just said, I want to be up on stage. How do I get up there? And so my mom researched a little bit, and we went to our neighborhood grocery store, and on the bulletin board, they were holding auditions for the musical Snoopy, which is the same, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, that it's in the same. And you could take down the phone number. And so that was how I got my first audition. It was a little children's theater. And then once I did Snoopy, I just kept going. I did Oliver, Fiddler on the Roof, and I just kept going and going. And really great adults professional adult actors. So I just was learning so much and just never stopped, just play after play. And then when I was in 8th grade, I didn't want to go to my neighborhood high school. I really wanted a more intense arts program. And so luckily, Duke Ellington School of the Arts is in Georgetown in Washington, DC. And that's a really immersive experience. So I auditioned for the school and got in, and the academics were 8:30 to 1. And then from 1 to 5 were all my theater classes. And then when we were in production, we were in rehearsal till like 10 or 11 at night. So you were fully consumed by all of the acting. And it was a small, only maybe about 400 kids in there. There was the dance department, music department. And then I went to Northwestern University outside Chicago and did their theater program. So it just was a really good journey to really developing my craft to get me to where I could play the girl in
Right.
bathroom.
Awesome, awesome. So, how did you happen to be part of Scream? Did you get this? Did you get like an audition? And if so, what was that like?
Sure. Julie Plec, Plec, we went to Northwestern together. She, at the time, was Wes Craven's assistant.
Yeah.
And she called me randomly, like on a Tuesday. And I was 22 years old. I just had moved out to LA. And Julie says, "How tall are you?" And I said, "I'm 5'7". And she said, "Great." She said, "Wes Craven is screen testing 5 actresses for the lead of Sidney and for the lead role. And they would be doing the screen test that Saturday. And she wanted me to be the female stand-in for Sidney Prescott so that Wes could play with different camera angles and movements and lighting. So I would be the stand-in so that by the time each of the 5 actresses came in, which one of them was Neve Campbell, he had everything ready to go. So they paid me $75. In the first half of the day, it was really fun watching the different actresses because each one was so distinctly different from each other. So that was really fascinating. And then Neve Campbell was actually really sweet, down to earth. She was probably the only one I got to, while she was waiting for stuff to be set up. She was the only one. She talked a little bit to me. I didn't want to bother her, but yeah, she was super nice. And the first half of the day, Wes didn't need me, so I would just stand behind him because he had a good view of his monitor. And then the 2 scenes. And the 2 scenes were the scene, the bedroom scene where Skeet crawls through Sidney's window, and they have the little G-rated on top of the bed action. And so that scene, and then the next scene was where the killer calls Neve Campbell on the phone. And so halfway through the day, Wes turns around to me, and because I just had been an invisible person, understandably, and he goes, "Do you know the lines to the 2 scenes?" And since I've been watching them, I said, yes, I do. And he gave me a little script of the scenes, and he went to go check on one of the actresses because they were all staggered. They were never all there at the same time. Just one would do each scene twice through and then leave. So because he wanted to do more camera movements, so he had me read Sidney for the bedroom scene, and then he had a male stand-in to read Skeet's part. And the one little line, some of the lines were a little different in the original script of the Kevin Williamson wrote. So I don't know if you remember the line where Neve Campbell says, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, she said, "Oh, you thought you could sneak in my bedroom and we'd have a little raw footage." Do you remember that? And you can say if you don't remember that line.
I do.
But, but what I thought was cute at the time in the script was the line was, "So you thought you could sneak in my window and we'd have a little bump. So like bump hyphen bump, like hump, but bump. And I just thought that was so funny. And so I thought, what if I were auditioning today, what would be my little stamp, particularly with that line? So I just had fun with it. And then we did the killer phone call. And right after, Wes beelined up to me and he said, "That was excellent." And he left the big warehouse space to check on the next actress. And as he was exiting, he said, "Have her read for one of the bathroom girls." And at that point, Lisa Beach, the casting director, came running over. It's kind of like once he gave his stamp of approval, then everyone else, suddenly I became visible in in the big space. And so Lisa Beach says, "We're finishing casting the lead roles. Once we're finished, we'll start bringing in actors for the smaller parts." And so she was really nice. Wes's producing partner was there and another producer. And then a few weeks later, I went in and I actually read for the cheerleader part. And I didn't have a cheerleader costume, so I just wore a little baby doll t-shirt that said "Girls Rule" and a little black mini skirt. And Wes, usually when you audition, it's just the casting director. And then if they like you, they'll call you back and the director will ultimately be there. But this first audition, Wes was in the room, Lisa Beach, and the couple of the producers. And so I already knew them, which was nice. And Wes couldn't have been more lovely. And I went to just shake their hands, even though I knew them. And he started, and I wish I were exaggerating, but he started bowing to me. And at first I was like, what have I done to earn,
Right.
his such respect? And then it was really sweet.
Nice.
And then because the shirt said girls rule, I figured out later that that's probably why it was. I did a terrible job as the cheerleader. I had coming from the theater. This was my first big movie audition. Prior to Scream, I'd done little training films for the Department of Labor when I was a teenager. So I had props and just way too big. And so I was so embarrassed because about the worst audition I ever gave. And Leonora, who played the cheerleader, was so perfect. So then they called a few weeks later, and they were originally, I don't know if you remember the two girls in the party scene. There's a blonde one and then a curly brunette. And they have a couple little lines to Courtney Cox. So they asked me, they said, would you be willing to play one of those roles? And I was like, well, let me think about it. No, I was like, yeah, sure. And so that was what was going to happen. And then randomly, again, like on a Tuesday, the assistant director called and he said, Wes has rearranged the shooting schedule and he's bumped up the shooting of the bathroom scene. And we want to know if you could play the girl in bathroom. And I said, yes. And they had a ticket for me either by the next day or the next day. It happened really fast. And Lisa Beach was on the plane with me. And what I just thought was a little funny thing was the assistant director was like, Lisa's going to be on the plane with you, but we're purposefully not seating you next to her because she's terrified of flying and she probably screamed the whole time. And then I obviously had to learn the little girl in bathrooms, 7 or 8 lines. And then the driver picked us up and we got to Santa Rosa and we each had our own hotel room. And I met Leonora, was so warm and kind. And we rehearsed the little bathroom scene in her hotel bathroom. And then we were on the set the very next day.
That's awesome. So did you ever keep in touch with Leonora at all?
Yeah. So she was so generous. She grew up in this world from a young girl forward. Her mother was a big film actress. Her grandmother was a big film actress. So she was very accustomed to this world and she was already good friends with some of the big lead roles. So she just was couldn't have been more welcoming. They had given her a big trailer on the day of shooting and I had a little, which I didn't mind. I had a little rinky dink, like just walk up thing that's like an outhouse, which was totally fine. And Leonora saw that and she was like, come and, we'll hang out with me. And so we stayed, we stayed from the moment of shooting. She just was we hung out that whole rest of the weekend. Like we shot it on a Friday and they kept us over the weekend in case Wes would need any pickup shots or anything. So she and I spent the whole weekend together. Nice. And then we just stayed friends and she would have parties like Thanksgiving and some of the cast some of the lead role people would be there. And so she always would invite me. And so it was really the lead character, some of the leading people of the lead roles were super nice and super open. And that's how, and then Leonora and I reconnected in New York City. We stayed close in LA, then kind of lost touch and then reconnected in New York City. I was in LA 5 years and I moved to New York for 12 years. So we reconnected there.
Awesome. So was any of your scenes, were they like improvised at all?
They were not. They had, I know, like, I think Jennifer Lawrence said in the current film she's in, Don't Look Up, that they allowed Jonah Hill for like a whole day of shooting just to, I guess his character's really mean to her character. And so they just let him riff and go to town on her. And Jennifer Lawrence said she just wanted to laugh the whole time, but she didn't want to mess up the takes. So I know that can happen with this. They just wanted it straight, and the lines were Kevin Williamson already had written such perfect lines and words for each of us, so it was just straight off the page.
Nice. So did you happen to meet Courtney Cox and David Arquette at all on set?
Yeah, so my first little introduction with David Arquette was one of our last mornings there, because Leonora was close with some of the cast members. She was like, let's go to breakfast. And we went to breakfast. It was Leonora Skeet and, and David Arquette came in with like these silk. I just wish I could have a picture to show you. And it was like 9 a.m. He had like on black silk pants with like an orange stripe down either side, and like a black silk shirt with orange little polka dots.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah. And he was like, this was before he started dating Courtney Cox. And he was like, oh my gosh. And he's just larger than life. He's like, I went to a party and one girl that I was dating then figured out that I was cheating on her with another girl who was at the party. And he was like, I can't believe it. And then I had like, maybe it was lunch because I had French fries. And then he was like, can I have some of your French fries? And then he just started eating off my plate. And I was so new to Hollywood, like that scene coming from professional theater, like from the East Coast. So I was just kind of, you know, in wow mode. And then Courtney Cox, the first time I met her, they had a really fun wrap party where they flew me up again. So right when they wrapped the film, they had a big wrap party in Santa Rosa, and they'd rented out, I feel like it was a jazz club, and they had a jazz band and then a full dinner buffet. And I went by myself. Everyone else was paired off, like Leonora was paired off. Rose McGowan was with somebody. By that point, Courtney Cox and David Arquette were dating. Matthew Little, everyone was paired off. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm all alone. And Leonora was so great. She's like, come sit with us. And we were at this big table, but everyone got up and it was me alone with Courtney Cox. And I was just like, oh dear God. And I ran to the bar to get a drink because she couldn't have been nicer, you know, just a normal, lovely person. And then what was super fun was when the jazz band ended, David Arquette got on the little stage and he started kind of emceeing, and Nev got up, since she's a really good dancer, and she started like doing flamenco dance or whatever. And Courtney Cox got on the drums because there was a drum set and she's really good on the drums. So it was just, and that was just spur of the moment. And so when she came off the little stage and it was all casual, I was like, you were so good on the drums. And Courtney Cox was like, oh, I was really off my game tonight. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but that's, and then Nev Campbell, she shot all of her reaction shots in the stall, reacting to what the cheerleader and I are saying. She shot that on a different day. So she wasn't there.
Okay.
The day we shot. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So, what do you think about Scream being 25 years old this year? Like, it's crazy.
Well, that means I'm 25 years older. It is crazy. It seems like such, yeah, I had just gotten to LA in 1995, and then Scream happened 1996. I mean, it was such a heady, wonderful experience for me, such an honor to have be a little part of something so, just such an enduring piece of pop culture. And I remember when I read the script, I thought, just reading the script, I thought, this is amazing. I never had read anything like it. And then when I saw who they cast and Drew Barrymore, like, I thought that was brilliant that she got killed within the first 10 minutes, and just so innovative. And so it didn't surprise me that it was so well received. It does seem like many moons ago. And it's always been exciting when they've celebrated the mini anniversaries and when the sequels have come out. But this time I've had so many interviews this week, a few weeks ago in January, and I had no idea that they were big fans of the girl of the bathroom scene. I knew they were big fans, of course, of the cheerleader. I did not know they were fans of the girl in bathrooms. So that's been
That's awesome.
really fun. I mean, and getting you introducing yourself and inviting me to come chat with you.
Yeah,
has been really amazing. Yeah,
absolutely. So have you seen the other sequels, 2, 3, 4?
I was going to ask you, how old were you in 1996? You must have been so.
Let me think.
Well, you don't have to tell me if.
No, it's fine. I was born in 89.
Oh my gosh! so you were 7.
7. I was born December 89. So 7.
Golly. Okay.
Yep.
So do you remember what age you were when you saw it?
My first horror movie was 8 years old. It
Oh
was
my
Friday
God,
the
which one?
13th, Part 7, The New Blood I first saw. And then I
Okay.
saw all the Friday the 13th in order, and then all the Halloweens and all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. All the way up to 1992's Jason Goes to Hell, I remember seeing, because that was the most recent at the time. And then I would say Scream, I might have been 14, maybe 13.
And did you rent it from like the
I rented
Blockbuster
it on
or
VHS, yep.
on VHS?
It was at
That's
our
so
local store called Black Diamond. Yep.
Black Diamond. And where
Yep.
are you on you're on the East Coast,
I'm on the
right?
East Coast. I'm originally from
Okay.
Ashland, Pennsylvania. I currently live in
Okay.
Woodlawn, Maryland.
Okay,
About an
and when
hour
you
from
saw,
Alexandria.
oh, you're so close.
Yes.
We can have coffee.
Yes.
And the only reason just okay, and then you had a question. The only reason I'm here in Alexandria, Virginia is and I laugh about it now, but just to explain briefly was I was in New York for 12 years and everything was going well. Career-wise, I was starting to get big parts in small little independent films and then a small part in a Todd Solondz film. And I had a good agent because my agent died in Los Angeles of a cocaine overdose. So I had a living agent in New York. But I did the movie called Charlie's Party and I met my husband on the film. He became physically abusive. So that I stayed with him 6 years. Anyways, thankfully I got rid of him, but then I just had to just basically kind of psychologically collapse. So that's why I'm here with my parents as a 48-year-old, which is so embarrassing, but they've been great. But it's just weird. I was left home at age 18, but I'm hoping within about a year or maybe by the summer to get back up to New York because I definitely want to pick up where I left off. But that is why my IMDb credits are so sparse. I have a really good TV writer friend. I have a lot of successful friends who didn't make the unfortunate marital choice I made, so doing really well. But a TV writer friend when I was still living in LA, he's like, your career's going really well. You get a movie or a little job like every 6 years, like a on-camera job. Theater-wise, it's always going. So you're in Maryland. Okay, so you're 14. And then you asked me a question.
I asked you if you saw Scream 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, right. I saw Scream 2 and I really enjoyed that. And then I did not see Scream 3. And I think I've seen little bits of Scream 4, but I didn't see, so but I'm super excited to see Scream 5.
Nice. I can't wait to see Scream 5 as well. I will admit though, you are not missing nothing really for Scream 3. It was probably the least best one of the franchise, like of the films. It's probably the least, my least favorite, anyways.
I definitely of course want to see them all. I know a new fan friend on Facebook said in LA they're going to start at midnight. I think at midnight, or I don't know. They're going to start showing all 4 in a row, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then maybe at midnight they're going to show the 5th, something like that. So I thought that sounded so fun.
That's really cool. I know they've been having like Scream marathons pretty much all month and all into January on like various channels. I think like one's on it, like sometimes they're on MTV and all that stuff. And they've been having them because of the Scream 5 coming out. Wouldn't it be cool though if they asked Girl in the Bathroom to come back for a cameo in like maybe the 6th one?
Well, the fans have always said, even from the beginning, even though there's so many more now, and I hate to say the word, I want to say friends, but I know everyone uses the word fan. Because I always say, anyways, but wait, what was I gonna say? Yes, so people always say that the 2 bathroom girls are still alive. So what if you brought them back as killers or just something funny? Because the cheerleader is so psycho and so mean, and I could be her little henchwoman. So I would definitely, if they asked the girl in the bathroom to come back, I would be thrilled. I know there are with this whole new horror community welcoming me, there's someone who wants to do a fan film with me and the cheerleader and has a cool idea. And so that's exciting. And a fan film would be fun. Of course, being asked back since we weren't killed off in the first one. So
and I just imagine, like, the cheerleader is like the drawn, like is the one pulling the strings, and you're like that.
Yeah.
You're like she's the Billy Loomis to your Stu type of thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and then it's like, hello, Sydney, remember me? And then she's like, who are you? Don't you remember that night back when it all began? We were in the bathroom stall. You're the cheerleader. She exposed herself. She said, you're the cheerleader.
And she's still wearing her cheerleader outfit years later.
Yes, she'll be like, you're right. It was you and your slut of a mother.
Right. Right.
That'd be
And
awesome.
Leonora has such a good, if you rewatch Bathroom Scene, she has such a good kind of deep, raspy voice. So she just has a great voice for that
Yes.
killer voice. Yeah.
Yep. And I heard so many rumors regarding the fifth one, regarding killers. Obviously,
I know.
there's like, you don't know what to believe, because if you think back on Scream 2, originally Hallie, who was Sydney's best friend in that, was supposed to be the killer, but that leaked. So they changed it to Mickey.
So who played Hallie in
Hallie,
Scream
2? Who did play her? I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Let me quick look it up. Hallie in Scream.
So it leaked, so they had to change it.
They had to change it. She was played by Elise Neal.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yep.
How do you think a leak happens? Do you think, do you think someone
I wouldn't think somebody on, I wouldn't say somebody on the cast, but I would think somebody in the crew, somebody really down low, somebody on the film who has access to the script has to leak it, because how else would it be leaked if they don't do it, or if somebody doesn't steal it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So somebody would have to, but yeah, she was supposed to be the killer, and they changed it to Mickey. So now, starting with Scream 3 and 4, and now with 5, they have the same, everybody has the same script, but there's like 5 or 6 different scripts that have the ending changed, where each one has a different killer, so you don't know. The only time you know is when you're filming that ending scene, and only a select few know it. Yeah.
And that's how they're doing Scream.
I'm assuming that's how they're doing Scream 5 as well, because there's just so many fan theories out there. Some people saying Stu didn't die and he's coming back. Other people are saying, some people are saying
that's my favorite one.
Yeah, some people, because Deputy Judy said in the 4th one that she went to high school with Sidney. So some people are saying that she slept with Billy and she got pregnant, and that the killer is going to be her son, her and Billy's son, to avenge his father's death. There's another one.
Oh, wow. And did Marley Shelton play?
She played Deputy Judy. Yep. So she'll be back
okay.
in the 5th one. And the funny thing is, they released the picture and they teased everyone. They have all the main characters on there, of course, with Nev, David Arquette, and Courtney Cox, and Deputy Judy, Marley Shelton on the big ones. And it says the killer is on this poster.
Oh, I saw that.
Yes.
I saw that.
So that's exciting. So that's what's making everybody think Deputy Judy is involved. Some people are saying, I also heard that Courtney Cox is probably going to be killed off because she didn't want to come back for the 5th one, but she's been saying that for the past, I believe, 2 films. She didn't want to come back, and then they offered her a lot of money, and she did. So you don't know what to believe. These are just rumors that I heard. So don't take this as gospel.
Yeah. But it is so fun in all the different Scream groups on Facebook to see what everyone thinks. It just makes it so fun. Are you going to go on January 15th?
Probably not, because I'll be in Pennsylvania. It comes out the 14th, and I'll be in Pennsylvania. I'll be in Pennsylvania probably till the 14th or the 15th. I'll be coming back. Then me and my boyfriend are gonna go see it probably the week after. He wants to go on a day that's not like really packed and everything. So we're thinking of going maybe like a Sunday morning or Sunday early afternoon or something.
Oh, good idea. And the town in Maryland you are in?
Woodlawn.
Woodlawn.
It's outside of Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to that big horror film convention in Baltimore, like in September, August?
I might. I'm not 100% sure yet. I might. It depends, because I booked a couple of movie roles this year, and there's barred out throughout the year coming up. I know.
Are you an actor?
I am an actor. I'm an author, and I also own my own company, my own film company.
Right. I remember you're a New York Times bestselling author. I knew you had your own production company.
Gravestone Films.
Great. Okay. Gravestone Films.
Yep.
And then have you written some screenplays and Do you have a
I
couple of
wrote one
productions?
script. I wrote one script. That was my company's first movie. That was
Okay,
called Samhain, or as people call it, Sam Hain. So that was
okay,
our first movie. And then we just finished post production. Oh no, we're in post production. We just started. We're going to be starting that up in January. We finished production this year on our second movie, 72. We did a short film on YouTube, a Friday the 13th fan film. And then
okay.
I'm also going to be filming Reunion from Hell 2. I got booked to do a role for that in Tennessee at the end of January. And
Wow.
then I film Heavy Duty Man in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. I play the lead role in that on in I think the end of April, early May, I think. And then 72 should be releasing sometime in 2022 as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, keep me
Yeah.
posted.
I
That's
will.
amazing.
I definitely
Did,
will.
is Reunion from Hell, is it Mark Torgel or Hayden Newman?
Hayden
Are
Newman.
they connected?
Yep.
Hayden Newman. Okay.
Yep. Hayden
Because
Newman.
Billy Stamper from Over the Moon appearances, the booking agent for conventions, and he's who reached out to me in the summer. And I know Hayden Newman is one of his clients, and
Mhm.
that's what kickstarted
Yep.
all of
Yeah,
this.
me and Hayden are really good friends, and
Oh,
yep,
so cool.
And Hayden wanted me to play this role. I was like, absolutely, I would love to, and so it's about a 9-hour drive, but it'll be
See,
fun.
that that's so exciting. And wow, yeah, because I've been reading about him and
Yep.
those films. That's so
Yep.
exciting.
Yeah, yep. He's a great person. I really enjoyed talking to Hayden and looking. And I know they currently have an Indiegogo live. I think there's like 5 or 6 days left on it. So, as people
Oh,
can,
to contribute.
you can contribute. You can get a DVD, a Blu-ray, and all that stuff. Yeah,
Oh, very cool. Oh, I'm glad you told me. So would I go, or I'll message you how to
you can message
go.
me about it. Yeah, just
Okay.
it's just on it's on my profile. You go to the Reading from Hell group page or the Facebook fan page. It's on there, and I know
Okay.
it's got 3 Nightmare on Elm Street alumni in it: Lisa Wilcox, Danny Hassel, and Mark Patton.
Okay.
Yep.
I have to admit, I'm a very big horror film virgin, and I'm just now, I mean, I'm now being a part of this world, like
Yep.
for real.
Yeah.
Um, I have to watch all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I have to
Yep.
watch The Hills Have Eyes, Last House on the
Yep.
Left.
Yeah.
Someone told me, oh, Greg told me, watch Jason Lives, the sixth one
Yes.
first, and then go back to one. So he's
Yeah.
got my head on that. I did finally watch because they terrify me. So I watched Halloween a few years ago and I
Mhm.
was petrified, but
Ha-
now I'm really
Halloween's
ready.
scary because that can really happen where there's a stalker that is a mental patient and he's literally watching your every move and then he butchers you. Like that can happen in real life.
When he's like standing by like the clothesline,
Yep.
just watching, in this perfect little suburban neighborhood, that
Mhm.
just creeped me the hell out because
Yep.
it's broad daylight.
Yep.
So I'm very excited to just
Yeah.
dive into all of these films
Absolutely.
and see Wes Craven's earlier work will be so
Yeah.
exciting and
Absolutely, because
yeah.
he did a brilliant job with the Nightmare on Elm Street. And fun fact, Nightmare on Elm Street really saved New Line Cinema from going bankrupt. Like
Really,
that film was the reason why they earned money to keep in business. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
So that
So
well, I'm
Yep,
grateful. So he's
he's the
the well
savior.
he's the savior. Well, he's an amazing.
Yep.
He just is an amazing man. I mean, my interaction, although limited, was so he just couldn't have been lovelier, so
Yeah.
warm, so gentle.
Yep.
I was so wasted at the rap party. Like after we left the jazz club, we went back to the hotel and everyone piled back into a one-room hotel with like 2 double beds. Like all of us were in there. And somehow I end up with a pack of cigarettes and I'm smoking them, totally wasted. And Wes was like, can I have one too? And so it was just, and everyone's kind of laying on the beds. I mean,
Nice.
in their clothes, but I was just
Nice.
like, how have we packed everyone in?
Mhm.
But I just was so thrilled to get to work with him
Yeah.
and I'm so sad that
He's gone. Yeah.
he's gone and just what that was so shocking.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. He saved New Line because New
Yeah.
Line, well, thanks to him saving New Line, that's who produced. I was in a movie called Storytelling with
Okay.
Selma Blair and Paul Giamatti, John Goodman. And I
Nice.
played another small part of a nerdy girl named Joyce. But yeah, that was New Line
Yeah.
Cinema. So that's thanks to Wes
Nice.
Craven.
Right, right. So the last question I got for you, do you have any other projects in the works or any promotions, anything that you would like to promote, websites, social media, or anything at all for the listening
Okay.
audience?
Okay, sure. Well, I have my I have I have my Facebook account, which is just Nancy Ann Ritter. And once all of this renewed interest in Scream started, I don't sit there and count my friends, but I went from like 840 friends and now I'm like to 2,100 friends in a small span. I did just open an Instagram
Nice.
just within the last couple months. So I'm maybe at 300 followers, but that's Nancy Ann Ritter. So those are the two platforms.
Okay.
And then I wish you're amazing. You have so many projects of your own to promote. I've been doing a lot of trauma therapy down here and just trying to get myself stronger and better post the physical abuse. So
Yeah. Sorry
once I get back, oh no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I laugh about it now. It's very character building. If I could put it into some sort of stand-up comedy routine, I would, because that's very cathartic, I think. But yeah, but hopefully when I move back to New York, I still have my same commercial agent for on-camera commercials and voiceovers. My theatrical agent for film, TV, and Broadway retired. But pre my marriage, when I was auditioning for great films and TV, the producers and casting people would tell my agent, "We're so glad we met Nancy Ann. She wasn't quite right for this role, but we're going to keep bringing her back in." So had I not married the guy, of course, there are no guarantees, but things were going along nicely. So
yeah,
I feel confident that I can drop back into it. And
of course.
I lost a lot of time, but I can get the time back.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
hopefully when I have stuff to tell you about, hopefully when I do have stuff, I'll definitely let you know.
Absolutely. And I mean, I would love to work with you someday. So any future projects we have, I'll keep you in mind as well.
Oh yes, I would.
Yeah.
I would love to. I would love to. And yes, thank you, thank
Of
you.
course.
I do nudity. I'm willing. I'll do anything that one asks of me.
Awesome. Well, that's good to know, and I will definitely keep
Yeah.
you in mind. I know we're a smaller company, so we're doing this project. This project took us about 2 years or so, and the first project took us about 2 or 3 years. And now, I mean, after this one gets done, we'll be working on our next one, and that'll probably be a 2-year project. So we don't have anything really set in stone yet, but it's me and my co-owner Carl Miller, and he and I will be working on it, and I can mention you to him as well, and we can definitely see what we can do.
Oh, I will tell you. No, thank you.
Of
A
course.
guy named Joe Cash, a writer director from the UK, reached out. He called it a trauma film, TROMA. Do you know what that means?
I don't know what that is. That might be a UK thing though.
A UK thing. So he has a part that he wants me to play, like a female detective. And so that just came in last week.
Okay, I can look it up quick. I'm actually curious now. That way we can let our people, our listeners know what that is.
Yeah, so his name is Joe Cash. I can look on my phone. He messaged me. I can read you. Let's see.
It looks like it's like, I guess, the UK version of a B movie, I guess. Let me see. It's an American independent film production and distribution company founded by Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hertz, 1974. So it's like low budget independent films, primarily of the horror genre. And many of them play on 1950s horror with elements of farce, parody, gore, and splatter.
Okay, yeah. And he said he has a role in mind of an investigator commenting on the death and victims at a crime scene. So that sounds like Girl in Bathroom as an older person.
Yes, exactly.
So I told him I was totally down for it. And that just came in a few days ago. So,
awesome. Well, good luck. And I would love to have you on, maybe next year. We can, discuss more Scream, and maybe you'll have something to actually promote that time as well. That'll be awesome.
Yeah. And if you and your boyfriend ever get down to DC or
we're actually going to DC this weekend.
Oh, you are? Oh,
Yes.
what are you doing for New Year's?
We're going to
Are you-
DC on New Year's Day, and we're coming back the 3rd. Yep.
Okay, are you
Yep.
gonna stay? Are you gonna see?
We're
go to
we're staying.
museums
We got a
or-
hotel, and we're taking a train down. We got a hotel, and we're gonna be seeing some type of musical down there.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Oh,
Yep.
very cool. Well, that's
Yep.
very, so you get, because I have friends. Yeah, well, we'll be in touch because if
Yes.
whenever you guys come, but
Absolutely.
that's so exciting.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
I love talking to you.
I love
Yes, and
talking to you as well.
anytime you want me, I have fun storytelling stories too about Todd Solondz, did you ever
Awesome.
see Welcome to the Dollhouse or Happiness, his first two?
Welcome to the Dollhouse sounds very familiar. I've seen a lot of B movies like on Tubi and all that, like Killer Sofa and all that.
Did you see, oh, okay. Did you see Happiness? So he's
I
done,
don't think I've seen Happiness.
that's with Philip Seymour Hoffman. So he does like tragic not horror, but really really disturbing, just human
Okay.
stories, but not creepy, but just oh gosh, but he gets amazing casts of actors.
Nice.
And Philip Seymour, I really recommend.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I'll have to
Yeah.
definitely look that up. Well, I thank you, Nancy, for joining me. You are my first Scream guest that I've ever had on my show, and I've been doing this since 2016. And you're my first guest from Scream, and you are my last guest of the year.
Oh my gosh, Scotty, thank you. And
So I
thank
thank you.
you. And thank you so much for reaching out. And that's so
Not a
exciting. And I
problem.
wish you all the best in 2022.
Thank you so
And
much. And I just want to do a quick promotion. I just want to say that I wish everybody watching this has a happy new year. Stay tuned for Slash to Scotty in 2022. I have 3 guests so far scheduled. Of course, anything can change last minute, but I have Brad Robinson from 13 Fanboy. I have Akeem Bozeman, who is the cousin of Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, on. He's going to be promoting Money Run. And I have Mark Cantu, who is going to be directing the indie film Wolf Hollow. Those are the 3 so far. I got confirmed in early January, so stay tuned for those. But I thank you so much for joining me, Nancy. It's been an honor.
thank you. Thank you.
Yep. You have a great rest of your night, okay?
Okay, you
All right,
too.
bye.
Do I
Yep.
just click the X?
I can stop recording and I'll X out.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yep. Have a good
Okay.
rest of your day.
Okay, I love you. Bye.
Yep.